I believe that you are a multidimensional being. We are all holographic in a sense. And what this means is that we exist in different energetic planes simultaneously. Good morning, Leanne. Good morning, Charlotte. So, what does it mean to exist in different energetic planes simultaneously? Well, we have our physical body, we have our mental body, and we have our emotional body. I think we can all agree that we have those, and they are all on different energetic planes, right? I think that even someone who wouldn't consider themselves spiritual can understand that and understands that experience. And so the more aware that we become of how we are operating and existing on different energetic planes. Hi, Sue. Thanks so much for joining in. Hi, Tiffany. With practice, we begin to consciously work with all of ourselves, all of our bodies in all of those dimensions and energetic planes, right? And so when you begin to do this and live and be more multidimensional, this leads to three things. One, reclaiming your personal power as the creatrix of your life. Two, attracting your desires to you more quickly using feminine manifestation principles, or what I sometimes call whoa manifestation. And three, you experience increased joy, increased income and creativity, and reduced struggle, stress, and feeling stuck. And so those are the 3 points that I'm going to really dive into and sharing some, lots of food for thought, but also some practices that can deepen your multidimensional awareness and also have you really look at how you are mastering that in your life or not. Hi, Natalia. So glad that you could be here today. So number one, you reclaim your personal power as the creatrix of your life. Out of curiosity, if anyone watching did my archetype quiz, did anyone receive the result of the creatrix? The goddess portal was Aphrodite. Just love to see that in the comments if you yourself received that archetype result of the creatrix. Reclaiming your personal power as the creatrix of your life really means, in a term that is familiar with a lot of us these days, is getting out of a victim mentality, right? And that victim mentality is when things that we perceive as negative or bad are happening to us, right? Why does this always happen to me? Why, that you can hear it in that. Like, why is it happening to me? Rather than seeing that life is your initiation and everything's happening for you. That's a much more empowering reframe, right? But if you're still in a victim mentality, it's that you feel powerless. You feel like you're not in control, and that life is happening to you, right? So that's a very basic, definition or description of what that looks like. And at this point, I do want to acknowledge that I am very aware that we do not all have equal access to resources or opportunities. This is an unfortunate truth in our current reality in the world, and global inequity and power privilege is something that I speak to quite often. So I do want to acknowledge that we do not all have equal access to resources or opportunities, yet every single human being does have control over our thoughts, our energy, and our actions. Now, it may not always feel like that. Show me some likes or some sad faces if you don't always feel in control of your thoughts. Do you feel like you're in control of your thoughts, your energy, and your actions? Just let me know in the comments, or yeah, give me some likes or some sad faces, because we can feel like we're not always in control of our thoughts. But we do have that power. We do have that choice. And all it takes is practice, essentially, to control what goes on in here, control our energy, what's happening in our heart, and how that translates into our actions. So focusing on that and reclaiming your personal power as the creatrix of your life shifts your reality entirely. I had a long list of reasons why woe is me, life wasn't the way that I wanted it to be, and all of these things have happened to me, what I now call my victim resume. And I had to throw out that victim resume when I finally reclaimed my personal power for my life. I want to see this comment here. Kelly is saying, no, you're not about being in control of your thoughts, right? And I notice I let the negative take over. It feels more comfortable, if that makes sense. Of course it makes sense. It's more known. Somewhere along the way, you got into a habit of a negative thought pattern, listening to your inner mean girl, letting her run the show. And so whatever is known is more comfortable. So that absolutely is, and great self-awareness. Thank you for sharing that. Spend more time with your soul. And so I want to bring that up again as a practice, and that looks different for everyone. For some people, that's meditation. For some people, that's journaling. For some people, that's spending time with their oracle cards. For some, it would be being in nature, or all of the above, right? It's whatever way that you spend more time with your soul. When you do this, you're accessing another dimension. Because tell me, what do you feel when you drop into yourself, right? What do you feel when you drop into yourself? We are accessing the infinite that resides within us. What's also called the world within the world. So that's a whole other dimension, right? Great, we have another comment. Charlotte says, last night I was noticing my head spinning with fears, and I asked my guides and soul to bring me back to surrender and trust, knowing that in that moment I needed help. Beautiful, that's right. We can always ask our soul, ask our guides for help when we need it. And I'm so glad that you recognized, I'm spinning into fear, I'm spinning into doubts, or whatever it is. How do we return to trust? Yes, beautiful. So spending more time with our soul, and like I said, whatever that looks like for you, is one way that we can access another dimension within us. And when we begin to master that, and I'll be honest, I don't even really love that word about mastering, but we do our best with the language that we have. And so that is a way to reclaim your power. We truly only have power in the present moment, right? So if we aren't present, we aren't in our power. If we're stuck in the past or we're worrying about the future, we're not in the present. And that is when we have the most power. So do whatever you need to do to be more present more often. And that helps that process of reclaiming your power. And so right here, right now, I want to share an affirmation that I've been working with that has been really beautiful. So place your hands over your heart. Close your eyes. And just breathe in. I forgive myself for forgetting how powerful I am. I forgive myself for forgetting how powerful I am. So I want to share that with you because that's one I've been working with. Hello, Gloria. So glad you can join. So on to number 2. The second thing that happens when we begin to consciously work with multidimensionality is that we attract our desires to us more quickly using our feminine manifestation principles. Now, let's be clear. You can use more masculine manifestation principles. They do work well. Thank you, Robin. Yes, that is a beautiful affirmation. But when we are in alignment and we're working with all parts of ourselves, things will speed up. Now, I want to say, I've been at this manifesting thing for a long time now. I mean, 15 years at least, or even longer. Actually, it's been 20 years since I first was introduced to dreamlining and dream crafting. So, I don't know, a long time. So I've been at this manifestation thing for a long time. And where I've come to now is that what I know is that we need more healing first to be able to achieve the coherency or the resonance with our desires before we can manifest. Charlotte, I'm actually really glad that you are on this broadcast because Charlotte Alea is an incredible healer and mentor for other healers. So I'm sure that you can appreciate that. Robin, you're also a healer, right? And the different practices that you both bring, and so I know that you can appreciate this. What we need, women especially, the feminine soul, and in fact, the feminine soul even of the planet and of our collective consciousness, the feminine soul needs so much healing and so much love. And that's really the first step to then be able to achieve that alignment or that coherency before we can manifest what it is that we desire. If we skip those steps, then we're often actually, what we're trying to manifest is misaligned. It's coming from it's just coming from a misaligned place. And so sometimes we can still get it, but then that's often those times, here, again, give me some likes or some sad faces if you've actually achieved or manifested something that you wanted. Yes! And then when you finally got it or you finally got there, it turned out that it wasn't really what you wanted after all. Have you been there? I know that I have. And so we spend all this energy and this time trying to achieve or accomplish or manifest something, and it's not in alignment. And then, I guess it's probably where that old saying comes from of be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. So from my lensing at this moment, what I'm seeing is that a lot of our attempts to manifest are actually manipulation or control. We're trying to control the way that things come to us, the form that things come to us, or so it's actually manipulation instead of genuine manifestation, and that indicates a lack of trust and faith. So if you don't have the true trust and faith that if you don't actually manifest or achieve what you're wanting to do, that it's still in your highest good, or that something else is something better is coming for you, that is true trust and faith. Yeah. Hello, Elena. Hello, Andrea. So glad you could join. So in Dream School, as I was mentioning earlier, Dream School, we learn to read everything more symbolically. So what does this mean? And at this point, I want to share something from Ariel Spilsbury. I've been sharing about this, but some of you may not know that I'm currently in the priestess initiation with the 13 Moon Mystery School. And the grandmother of that lineage, which is an Avalonian lineage, is Ariel Spilsbury. And so this is what she says about symbols. All symbols assist in learning how to process and integrate consciousness that exist beyond the range of human language or form. So symbolism, learning how to read everything more symbolically, gives us this, and it's like a superpower, gives us this superpower to understand everything beyond the limits of our human language and form and definition. And so why I'm tying this in with the manifestation is bringing it back to, if you haven't been able to manifest your desires, you're either not an energetic match or in a coherent frequency to achieve it, create it, or you're skipping the step where you need to get aligned in the first place. You're trying to manifest something that's out of alignment. And so the universe, to use that broad term, God, goddess, divine source, the universe actually is saying, no, that's not really that's what you want, but it's not what you need. That's what you think you want, but it's not what you need. Trust that there's always something. There's always something being orchestrated for you. I could go on and on about this because I love symbolic language, and that's a deep part of just my love and why I love archetypes, because archetypal language is symbolic. But I'm going to move on. So I'm going to move on to the third thing that happens when we begin to master our multidimensionality is that we experience increased joy, creativity, income, and reduced struggle, stress, and feeling stuck. Give me some hearts if that sounds like something that you would like. Increased joy, creativity, and income, and reduced struggle, stress, and feeling stuck. Great, thank you for the hearts. Yes, we all want this. We all want this, right? Yes, yes. So what we're really desiring is mastering our own energy, right? It's really, I know that everyone in this group at some level and at many different stages on the path, if you will, but we are all wanting to master ourselves, self-mastery. Self-mastery. The way that we live our lives, who we are, how we show up, right? And like I said earlier, the only things that we have control over are our thoughts, our energy, and our actions. And so bringing more joy is our birthright. Joy is our natural state. I'll say that again in case anyone needs to hear that one again. Joy is our natural state. And so wanting to attain or achieve joy is really more a process of removing and clearing whatever's in the way of us being in our natural state. And as for creativity isn't just for artists. I really want to hit that point home. Creativity isn't just for artists. Creativity, again, is for everyone. We are all creative in different ways. So it's not just for the visual artists, the performing artists, the writers, the poets. We can live our lives creatively. We can think creatively. You know, the way that we dress ourselves, the way that we decorate our homes. Bringing that creativity. And something else that I talked about in my live stream on Monday, the 3 keys to shapeshift you into your highest potential, is that creativity indicates, at least in my opinion, indicates a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. You know, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you're in a rut, there's something that's not in growth. There's some way that you're resisting growth and change. And so when you move into creative thinking and allowing that into your life, then shifts happen, change. And again, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You just might find yourself living a joyful, radiant, exciting, adventurous life. Oops. So if you feel disconnected, whether it's from source, if you feel disconnected from your friends, from your loved ones, again, that's a habit that formed from a choice that you made probably long ago, and probably as a method of protection to disconnect. That was a choice that you made and continued to make. And so now it's a habit that you feel disconnected. The good news is habits can be changed. And spiritual practices, tools, exercises, these esoteric arts that I share help you unplug from your habits of struggle and disconnection, and so that you can realign with your feminine power, your unique energy frequency. And so it, to sum this all up, mastering multidimensionality to me is really about awareness that there are more than there's more than one dimension, and how we exist and operate in these different planes. So awareness, then alignment, and activation.